Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Senate election prediction videos where I take a look at the Senate races going on across America in 2024 and give my thoughts, analysis, and predictions on the race. And today we are looking at the state of Washington, the Evergreen State, and a seat currently held by the Democratic Party and Senator Maria Cantwell. Senator Cantwell is currently serving her fourth term in the United States Senate. In 2018, Senator Cantwell's margin of victory was just under 17%. In 2020, Joe Biden won the state of Washington with a margin of victory of just under 39%. In the 2024 election, there is no doubt how the state of Washington will cast its electoral votes. The state of Washington will give an overwhelming victory to Vice President Harris. Washington is one of the most strong Democratic states in the nation, and it will continue that trend this year. Democrats run up a very sizable margin in western Washington, particularly in the Seattle and the Seattle metro area, where a majority of the state of Washington's population lives. And Republicans run up a large margin in eastern Washington. However, eastern Washington is rural and very sparsely populated. Therefore, Democrats will carry the state of Washington by a comfortable margin. However, when you look at a county map of Washington, it will look very red and look competitive. That is a lie, and that's sometimes why a county map can be very deceiving, because it doesn't account for the population distribution of people. You can have a large county and have very few people in it. And you can have a small county geographically and a tremendous amount of people in it. So Washington will be overwhelmingly Democratic on election night in 2024. And it will be called at poll close in the presidential race. Let's take a look at the two nominees. The Democratic nominee is the incumbent Senator Cantwell. Senator Cantwell is serving in her fourth term and seeking a fifth term. Since coming to the Senate in 2001, Senator Cantwell has really focused on tech and tech-related issues. Prior to serving in the Senate, Senator Cantwell was a tech executive, served a term in the House of Representatives, and served several terms in the Washington State House. Washington's economy is very heavily dependent on tech and the tech-related sector. Microsoft is headquartered in Washington State. And Senator Cantwell, being a former tech executive herself, is passionate about the issue. And her office also is a key place from where people will go to work in government relations for tech companies. So her office is a real springboard for those interested in the public policy of tech issues. Her Republican opponent is Dr. Raul Garcia. Dr. Garcia is an immigrant from Cuba. Dr. Garcia is running on the issues of fentanyl, the high cost of living, inflation, and he is also running on women's health care. Dr. Garcia has said that he will support the voice of Washington voters if elected to the Senate on the issue of abortion, and a majority of Washington residents are strongly in favor of abortion, and he claims that he would not support any nationwide abortion ban or vote to make it illegal. A kind of trying to tread a moderate stand on the issue of abortion. But then again, I think the question with that would always be, so would you support changes to leadership, or would you withhold votes on other issues? It's just not that vote that matters. There's others that allow that vote to take place, and especially his vote in organizing the Senate would be a big vote in that. But he's also, emphasizing the fact that he would see himself as a nonpartisan senator, although he's running as a Republican. And I'm going to get to that part in just a second. So his campaign is one of a traditional candidate who has not held elected office before, who is running in a state with a very significant partisan lean one way, and that partisan lean is not to his advantage. Dr. Garcia in 2020 sought the Republican nomination for governor in 2020, and he lost. So let's take a look at the primaries. The state of Washington has a jungle primary system, and Senator Cantwell received over 57% of the total vote in the jungle primary. There was one other Democratic candidate, and combined, the Democrats accounted for 58% of primary ballots cast in the Washington state election. Republican candidates accounted for 38%, and independents accounted for 3%. How do I think this race is going to turn out? In 2022, Republicans thought that they had a really good opportunity to pick up a sleeper seat on a perfect election night, if everything went right for them, in the state of Washington, and unseat Senator Patty Murray. And they dumped a lot of money into Tiffany Smiley. That was not the case. Senator Murray won comfortably. And I was one of the people that thought that that was a fool's errand for Republicans to waste money in a state like Washington where they had really no realistic chance of succeeding. And they are not making that mistake in 2024. And I've seen no national discussion of this race, and I don't expect to. Senator Cantwell is going to easily win a fifth term in the United States Senate by an overwhelming margin over a less funded candidate, and over a candidate with less name recognition. So Senator Cantwell will be elected to a fifth term in the United States Senate.